Hey, welcome to the Icarus Idea. This month, or this episode, we're talking to two graduates from the University of Twente. One is a package designer at Danone, and the other one is a real spider in the web at Nedap. Hey, welcome to the Icarus Idea. Welcome to another episode. Thank you so much for listening. Good to have you here. As always, we have some guests for this episode. This episode we're getting to the real deal, the real questions, I guess, because we're going to talk about how it is to be an industrial design engineer in the, let's say, essence of an industrial design engineer. Just an industrial design engineer working in the industry. That's what we're talking about, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
In front of us, there are two graduates of the University of Twente. Both they graduated a couple of years ago.
Yes.
They went both separate ways. One of them went to Nedap, and one of them went to Danone. I would like first to introduce you to Jo. Welcome, Jo.
Yes, thanks.
We have Jo, you have me.
Yeah.
Would you care to introduce the fourth person?
The fourth person is working for Danone as a package designer. I would like to introduce you to Robin Vermeulen. Welcome.
Thanks.
I think we're starting right away with the punch of the month.
Yes, I think that's a good idea.
Let's break the ice.
Yeah, just real quick, punch of the month. We've been doing it for a while now. Every one of us has come up with something interesting, we think, and we just put that in the group and we'll see what happens. All right, Jo, Robin, you wanna start?
Yeah, sure.
All right, hit me.
So the one I brought, it's of course it should be packaging related.
Of course.
So and it's been there for a while, but I don't know if you know Loop, but it's a startup from the US that actually started to make packaging circular more or less. So what they do is they have delivery services, but not for only the product, but for the packaging as well. So what they do is they have reusable containers. So for, let's say, coffee, they don't put it in a laminate, but they put it in a tin. And you get a tin of coffee, and when it's empty and they come to bring your new one, they will pick up your old one and bring it back to the supplier of the coffee. And they do that for multiple products. But the idea then is that you don't have a linear economy anymore, but the circular one for your packaging as well. And I think the most inspiring of it is that we all know there's a reason for packaging to be there. And often when you heard about these ale-free or plastic-free supermarkets, for example, a bit of the convenience disappears. And with this solution, you more or less tackle that topic, and it shows that you can be circular and convenient at the same time.
Is it supposed to be like a supermarket, or is it just a few products?
You could say it's similar to like a picnic.
Yeah.
So you order online with a supermarket that will bring it to your home. And they're slowly expanding products. In a couple of countries, we have Evian water, for example, which is part of Danone, is included now as well. So
What a coincidence!
the reason why I know of it as well. No, but they're quickly expanding. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Well, sounds good.
Good idea, yeah.
Yeah, it sounds really interesting. I think recycling in the Netherlands is pretty good. It can be much better, but I've been to America last year, and it's crazy. Even in a hotel, when you go to a hotel, you get this plastic plate, this plastic cup, this plastic tools that you get to eat your food, and they just throw it away after you've used it in a hotel. So I was pretty amazed about, and also the fast food they got over there is like crazy. So is it mainly focused on like, for example, this type for a hotel or as well?
Well, what you see in the Netherlands as well, we have a good recycling stream, but to get good quality out, it becomes technical quickly. But to get good quality of plastic out of your recycling stream, that's much harder because we put all the plastic in the same bin. And in all kinds of qualities are mixed, and then when you recycle that, you always have a lower level of plastic coming out. And what they can do with this is to close the loop, as they call it. Yeah. So you bring the bottle that was used for your water or for whatever product, you bring back to the supplier of that same water, and they can actually recycle it to have the same level of plastic out. So you could do it in essence with any system, and the closer it is, the better already. Because like in a hospital or it would already be easier to implement, because you can more easily track where the waste goes.
Yeah.
But that's the optimal benefit of it, I think.
I do wonder though, because now there's some kind of car probably delivering it, then riding back to the distribution center. Then you've used it, then it comes to you again. Then it picks up the bottle, let's say 2 bottles of empty Evian water, and then it goes back to Evian, delivers the bottles, and then that's like a whole lot of transport, right? How does that?
Yeah, that's true. It's quite a challenging LCA to do, for sure.
Yeah.
But if you compare it to the old-fashioned supermarket, I'm wondering actually if it's a big difference, because most people here take their car to the supermarket as well.
Yeah.
So it would really depend on how much you order at once, I guess. But that's a good question mark behind it. Yeah.
I had a discussion like a couple of days ago with a friend of mine who we were discussing like the delivery, that the amount of deliveries made by the amount of orders made by people is getting much higher. And for example, Picnic is introduced like last year, and we were arguing about whether it will cost more energy or less energy, since that people don't have to go to the supermarket, but they let them deliver the food at their home. And we're just arguing about what is better, what's a better way what is a more sustainable way, I would say. We weren't really quite sure about it, because people eventually go to the supermarket with their car. But then he said, I will go to the supermarket with my bike. And I was like, okay. But yeah,
when I order at Picnic, they only have one time per day. So that's at least what I know of Picnic, is that you can't choose. It's just when they're in your street. So that's the ways they try to tackle it.
I thought you can choose your time slot.
Yeah, you can choose a day, but then on every day there's a time frame, like an hour that you can choose.
Okay.
But that's for Amsterdam. I don't know how it is for any city.
Hi, this is Jens from the future. While he's editing, let me tell you a story about that time in the podcast where we lost the audio for our mics. That's a great story. Professionalism. But I can give you a summary of what they said. It was something like, "Have you seen the movie Parasite?" said Yo, and everyone said no, except for Joris, who said yes. And then John asked, "Is this like a Wes Anderson movie?" And Yo was like, "No, it's not really a Wes Anderson movie. It's different, but it's much better." And everyone was like, "Whoa." And then they did some more talking that I forget. And now you're all caught up.
Cool.
Yeah.
Joris.
I got like a short pinch of the month, because we're running out of time, I guess. It's just more of a fun fact. I've been working on some kind of new project lately, and I wanted to design something that had some kind of meaning in it.
Cool.
And I thought, okay, maybe I can use some symbols from, I don't know, some kind of religion or something. So I thought about Buddhist religion, and I thought maybe they have symbols that are different from what we have here, so it might be interesting, you know. And so then I was reading the handbook of Tibetan Buddhist symbols, because that is what I do in my spare time apparently. And I came across a fun fact that apparently in Buddhism people think that a tiger has regarded as like the king of nature, of course. It's just like the lion in Africa and maybe the bear in North America, stuff like that. They see the tiger as the king of nature, but not only because it's the most powerful animal and stuff like that, but also because apparently tigers, they have like 3 lines on their forehead, and like horizontal lines, just, you know, tiger lines.
Okay.
You know, like stripes.
Yeah.
So they have 3 stripes on their forehead, and then 1 vertical stripe through it in the middle.
Yeah.
And that is exactly the Chinese character for king. So they believe that tigers have a natural marking of the Chinese character for king.
Cool.
Yes.
Wow.
I thought it was pretty
Nice
cool.
fact.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a fair fact.
Right?
Yeah.
What we want to talk about today, we have two people that, through entirely different ways, got into the industry as industrial design engineers, right?
Yes.
Hio, you know each other? You've
Yeah.
been working together
We're
for
good
some
friends.
projects,
We're good
right?
friends also. We started like in the same year, 2010.
We even lived together for a year.
Yeah. Also, yeah.
Wow.
Romantic, but it
Yeah.
didn't work out. Or?
No, our
after a
house
year
was-
we thought it was fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but our house
Wasn't
was in Enschede Zuid, and it had to be put down, right?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
was planned to be demolished. So we,
Oh.
we lived there for a year, like the cheap rent kind
Yeah.
of stuff.
Yeah.
Anti-kraak.
Oh,
Oh.
nice.
Yeah, that's
And after that
cool.
we are
Yeah.
But it was a nice year because
split.
all of our friends like also had a
Trashed our house.
Yeah, also had a house in Enschede Zuid, so it's really fun.
Yeah, it was like a party location.
Nice.
It sounds great.
Yeah.
Was it some kind of old hospital, or was it like a house?
It was an actual house, but it was you know, with these anti-kraak
Mhm.
things, it's really big for really cheap.
Yeah.
So we even had like a spare room just for
Our trash.
our our trash, leftover
Dusty.
stuff. Well, not trash, but all the stuff we didn't use every day. And then
Our
very
jacuzzi, trampoline, and
well, there was even like a leftover desk in pieces
Yeah.
because we used a different desk. That kind of level. So.
Okay,
Anyway,
but
so we know each other.
Yeah.
Hio,
Yes.
just in a nutshell, from what we've talked about, what we've researched,
Yeah.
you started designing the legendary, what's the word? The house style?
Yeah,
It's not a
house
house
style.
style.
Brand identity, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Sorry?
Brand identity.
Brand
the brand
identity.
identity
Yeah.
for Daedalus,
Yeah.
the
Study
study
Association.
association for industrial design engineering here in Twente.
Yeah, I did together with Julian Klaus.
And
as we
then
mentioned. Yeah.
from there you did a design job for Nedap, and then like words
Yeah.
words
but
and stuff.
yeah, I.
Master thesis.
Yeah.
You did your master thesis at Nedap as well, and then
Yes.
you got a job at Nedap,
Yes.
right?
A short
Could-
summary. Yeah, but
Could you elaborate on that?
yeah, of course. I think it was in our second year or third year that we were asked by the board, Julian and I,
Mm.
to design like a new brand identity because the old one was like outdated and was not that fancy anymore. And we, as a design study association, should have cool poster templates and stuff like that.
yeah.
So they asked us. We were really active during our study with Daedalus, and we also had affinity for graphic design, and I think that's why they asked us to design something new.
Mhm.
So it was fun. We had no responsibility, so the risks are low, and you can like
Yeah.
come up with stuff. You can do whatever you like. You can experiment and stuff like that. So that was really cool. We presented. We used mock-ups for the first time and stuff like to even show how good our work was, and we took it really seriously, and we even make like a book and guide with our process in it. Should be somewhere in the Daedalus archives, I think. Maybe cool to share it with everyone.
Okay.
But it was really cool, and then we presented it, and they were really happy. And I'm even still amazed that it's still nowadays is being used. So I think it's now outdated, like
Yeah,
that's
more
what
than
I
10
heard.
years ago. Yeah. So maybe a challenge for you or someone else to to
Design.
reinvent the brand identity again. Yeah.
Because apparently, if you do so, it can lead to
Yeah,
a nice
but
job, right?
yeah. So we didn't think nowadays we still even got a proper thank you from the Daedalus.
Oof.
But yeah,
Oof.
so
Well done, Liz.
Daedalus. But no problem. It was typical case like you do it because it's fun and maybe for your exposure, stuff like that. But we had fun, and we I think it was also like the first project you and I did together as a duo. So that was also cool. And we worked. We found out that we had like a synergy together. So that 1 + 1 is 3, and I think that's why we end up starting a design agency with the two of us.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was really cool.
I think it's quite unique that you were friends with Julian as well before this,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
Usually, there's a difference between being friends with someone and having like a professional click with someone.
Yeah.
So if you get both,
Yeah.
I completely understand that you start some kind of business.
Yeah,
together.
so
that works.
Yeah, so that was really cool. Yeah, and you get a lot of energy from it also.
Okay. So Robin, you actually went a whole other path. You explained just a minute ago that you would consider yourself as a designer between all the engineers and
And the scientists.
and the scientists.
Yeah, yeah.
You're currently working for Danone as a package designer. You started right after you have graduated from the university at Danone. How did you start at Danone? How did it went?
Well, it's the typical way of finding a graduation assignment because it's by coincidence. Actually, from our study tour, I had a quite good relation with Jos de Lange from the packaging chair. And he knew that I was looking for an assignment. I said, if there's something in packaging, let me know. But not with a clear direction that I wanted to be in packaging. I just wanted to be in a big company and learn how it goes there. And at some point, I got an email from Roland and Klooster to say, they're looking for an intern, so please go there. I went there, and actually I was in the train with another student colleague because he was invited as well.
Uh-oh.
and we didn't know whether there was one or multiple places.
So it was a battle.
And I actually made a book with my portfolio at that time because we were way too optimistic in that sense to build an entire book for a couple of weeks for an interview. So I decided to not tell him because I thought, if it's competitive, I'll keep this for myself. No, but we ended up being there both for a graduation, and it's typical when you're thinking about the packaging engineer. It's far from the typical design engineer that we are. So I was quite different from people there, which sounds really sounds a bit weird, but
how were you different then?
Well, the engineers there, they don't actually design it. So if you would do if you would make a new format, they will instruct a design agency or a supplier of any material on what they want with a brief, and in the brief it's just stated there. It's just words. It's not like we would make a concept and draw it and say this is what I have in mind and build it and then let someone make it. So in that sense, it was new for them to have a designer there.
Cool.
Yeah.
And I did my graduation assignment on smart packaging there.
Okay.
And at first I thought, I can never work here because it doesn't fit with the profile. But it ended up being, at some point I started discussing with my manager, and in the end they created a new role of design engineer there, which
Especially
I could roll into. Yeah, I had a bit of luck with reorganization in the company, but in the end I got this job created. I didn't have to do an interview, and then I got in, so I was lucky. Yeah.
Are you still the only design engineer at Danone, or?
I'm still the only one. So since I was the third generation of University of Twente industrial designers that was there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But now at least every year we have an intern from here through our sources with Jos and Roland.
Nice.
Yeah.
I don't get bonuses for it, but I
Shout out.
but I get them in.
Yeah.
No, so that's the only other designers that are there actually. Yeah.
Is that you're actively trying to make the design branch bigger?
In a sense that normally if in a project then it would be the design part would be outsourced.
Mm-hmm.
If I work on the project, I say I'm not going to outsource it. I want to do it myself.
That makes
So
sense.
at least in every project I'm involved in, I do that, and where I can, I try to train others in the team a bit as well. 'Cause people are interested in it, so that's good.
Okay.
It would be cool to have maybe other designers, right? So you can spar and
That
discuss.
would be optimal. Yeah.
Would that be optimal, or would it be optimal if you taught the people that are already there the design skills? Because then you got a bigger mixture, right?
Yeah, that's the best, I would say. But
maybe both.
Yeah, what I feel we have as design engineer now, or how you get it taught here, is that you're actually design engineer. So both. So you know just enough of engineering to be able to implement it in your design, and that's the optimal balance. And I think a lot of packaging engineers in the field are really technical, so they know everything technically, and I will never go to that level. But yeah, in the early stages of a project, you don't need it either. You just need it half more or less. So it could be both, but it's harder to learn a 50-year-old engineer to start drawing than to get some new designers in the team. I think that's easier than try to convince people that.
Yeah. Does it clash a lot? Like, do you have some like big discussions with your colleagues, or is it?
I think I had to prove my point a bit, so I had to. People were skeptical in the beginning.
Yeah.
But I think we align well now. Yeah.
Okay.
You taught us like before we started the episode that like a large part of your working day is explaining people what an industrial design engineer does.
Yeah.
Like, how does that go?
Yeah, because what I just told is not it's not typical for someone else in the company. So even in the research and development center I work in, most of the time people think you make the artwork.
Yeah, you're a graphic designer.
Yeah,
right? You draw stuff,
you're a graphic
right?
designer. And then you explain him about the structural design, so that's a challenge in itself. And it was interesting that you mentioned spider on in the web, because that's what I thought that an industrial designer would do in a company as well.
That's what a lot of people say, like to us as students.
Yeah. But the one the one in at least in Danone, the one they call a spider in the web is a project leader.
Yeah.
But my biggest advice for an industrial designer is to not become a project leader. Because you do everything except making. So you work in Excels and you make sure the project meets the deadline with the requirements set, etc. So with the quality, blah blah blah. So you manage the people, but not the content. And the designer is just one of the project team, more or less.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Robin, because I think design should be also like one of the core competence of a company. So it's not like, oh, you can do everything a little bit and also like a little bit design. No, you should be like an expert in design in your company.
Well, I'm pretty curious because you work for Nedap, and Nedap is more like I would describe it as more in way to the software type of company.
Technology company,
How is the role of an industrial design engineer in that?
Yeah, also a nice question. I started, Jude and I had like a design agency, and we were asked by Nedap to redesign an app. It's like an access app for the professional care in the Netherlands.
Okay.
And it was kind of like outdated, not working that good. So they asked Jude and I, and we worked together with Peter, who worked at Nedap before at the Google Startup Weekend. So that's how we met him, and he was really a fan of our work. So that's how we came in contact with Nedap. And we redesigned it. We presented to them, and they actually like it. Like, wow, really enthusiastic about your work. So I want you guys to join our team. So we said, wow, we still have our company, and we are not graduated yet. They said, don't worry about that. You can come here. We will fix a graduation assignment for you. And you can also like experience already how it is to work here as a designer at Nedap, because we don't have people like you here yet, and we think you guys can add value to our products. So we decided to did our graduation assignment there. So the assignment was to make like a physical product for in the Dutch healthcare. It was really a broad assignment, so it was really challenging. So. We learned a lot from it, but it also cool because we were able to like make like a physical product, like what we used to learn here at our study. But during our period there as an intern, we also had the chance to work on products they already have. They were mostly software products, digital products. So we also like did user interface, make user interfaces, and redesign products like that, but also were part of designing a new product or designing new brands and stuff like that. So that was really cool. So you can do a lot of stuff as a designer. I don't know if that answers the question.
Yeah. So you explained that you were like designer in Nedap.
Yeah.
But what is your role currently?
Yeah.
As
So
a designer, is it more like design UX design or user experience design and like applications and how people like cognitive ergonomics?
Yeah. I think we also do that, but what I also said, we do a lot of different projects. So that's what I like about my job is the variation. So I work on the digital products, the user interface and user experience kind of projects, but also like the physical products and also like branding, what we first started with Dollars. We also did that kind of for Nedap as well. So that's really cool, and that's what I like about it.
Since you started as a let's say graphic designer with a graphic design assignment,
I
feel like a lot of people that do industrial design engineering, they miss that technical depth in stuff that they do, because a lot of people do mechanical engineering afterwards because they think I need more technical depth. To what extent, like how much technical depth do you get from doing the assignments that you do at NATO?
But you can also that's maybe a fair point. But you can also like dive into coding or stuff like that to make it more technical if you want. That's why I like the study, because you are really broadly educated. So of course you can do everything a little bit, but I think it's also cool to become good at a certain fields of specific fields. Something
and
like that.
You chose the more visual part. And then decided I'm gonna work on this.
So
I'm curious. I feel like a lot of people do stuff besides their study. They make some I don't know. They design a skateboard, or they design shoes, or they develop an app or something like that. But a lot of people that I talk to, they're like, no, I'm not gonna show this to them. It's just. Did you, when you did all the side projects, or Robin, you as well? Did you already feel like this is going somewhere, or were you as humble as the people that I talk to now?
I don't think.
You're humble for sure. That's the starting point.
Fair enough.
Thanks, but I don't think. I don't know what to say. I think you don't make it because you want to impress someone. You make it, or you creating it because you like to do it, or you want to try it. So that I think people should definitely do that, and especially now, because now you have like no risk at all. You can. This is like the perfect moment to do it, actually. So
there's no failure is fine.
So like this, I also admire how you guys set up this podcast, and like, let's do a podcast because we think it's a cool thing to do, and so I think you already learn a lot from it. So that's really cool.
Is it still possible to do these side projects, or do Danone or Nedap offer you spare time to work on these cool things, cool ideas and stuff like that? Or is it?
I think for me in Danone, it's still quite traditional company. So it's not like Google, where you have a Friday afternoon playground. We don't have it, but even contractually, you are allowed to do whatever you want as long as it's not with competition. So that's you can do whatever. But for me, it's really dependent on my manager and my team. She gives me quite some freedom to put more design emphasis in projects. So the benefit I have in that company is that there's not so much structure, which is a bit of the culture of the company, and you need to fit in with it. But then you can do a lot with it as well. So I could even say that if I do a project instead of a technical colleague in the team, the outcome will probably be at least 50% different, just because I focus on different elements. It's not per se immediately the fancy design you have in mind, but I even do it if I need to do a presentation to the management. I think it's important to get it visually appealing as well, and to use our knowledge of how to build a visual presentation to sell what I have to sell. as part of it. And that's something that sometimes is forgotten as well, I think, because the rule of 6 words per slide, more or less, it doesn't hold up without outside of design. I work with a lot of scientists that put a lot of text on one page. That's it.
Yeah.
But in your free time, Robin, do you also doing design stuff?
I should do it more.
Yeah.
I'm this kind of guy that has a lot of ideas to do so, but then end up not doing so many of them.
That sounds
But
very
it's-
familiar.
Yeah.
Yeah, we spoke to Frances last episode,
Yeah.
and she said as well, I do this and this and this and this, and we were like
Yeah.
12 different directions of interest, and we were like, how do you choose?
Yeah.
And, everyone at the table was like, I have no idea. Oh no, she said, follow your heart.
Yeah. Yeah.
What?
Good advice.
Good
yeah.
advice.
I
Always
do
good
agree
advice.
though. Yeah. You used to. You mentioned that you were both very ambitious during the studies, and you did all kinds of stuff to, let's say, reflect on each other's work and just say this sucks and do this different.
Yeah.
How did that interaction go? Like, did you have some kind of project where you thought, oh, that's the moment where Hio told me that I should stop with industrial design engineering? Do you have something like that?
Well, I think in our group of friends, what worked well is that you have so much lectures and stuff together that you're so close that you're constantly looking at each other's work anyway, whether you want it or not. And I think with our group at some point everyone was comfortable enough to say what they really thought of each other's work. You probably need to go through a barrier, and it's just a healthy competition, which to some extent even became a bit of maniacism.
Maniacism.
It's not a word, but at some point everyone constantly wanted to do a bit better because they said, that guy is making a really fancy drawings. I want to be in the cool kids class as well, in drawing, let's say. So.
But it was just your group of friends, or is it
Yeah, I think it was just a coincidence. We're with a group that we still meet at least every year on the weekend. 20
The
people,
circle
I think.
nerds.
20 people? Damn.
And it's still there, so it just went naturally.
But thing is, a good example, the drawing course, the digital course.
Course.
Yeah, we had like a shared Dropbox where we all like, here's what we draw and made. So we put it on the Dropbox, and then oh shit, man, he
I had it because
this
now
idea. Yeah, so okay, maybe I can try to copy it, but try to improve how to add my flavor into it and stuff like that. So that's cool to see. Yeah.
It is currently implemented into the course because we now have like this site where you put on your drawings, and then you can see everyone's drawing, and then you're going to upload your drawing, and then you see all these other drawings. Like shit, okay, I have to do it again. And make it better. Yeah.
So I thought, I'm finished with my drawing. Then I saw someone else drawing. Okay, I'm not finished yet.
It's gonna be a short night.
But
exactly that.
But that was nice because you're pushing each other
to the limit.
to become better. Yeah.
Maybe that's a good idea for people studying now.
Yeah.
I feel I don't know if I have something like that. Like I have friends.
Yeah.
Good. Very proud. But I don't feel like I have this moment or session where you compare your work with each other and you're like, nah, you should do this better, and you're good at doing it, you know?
I think for us most typically was as well the year we lived together in that house. We were both not really the kind of morning person, so we were working after dinner until late, and then you're just working next to each other on different topics, but automatically you will start helping each other out, because it's also not always criticizing, but it's also just brainstorming with an extra pair of brains, let's say. So that it really helps, I think, especially when the other one is not too much into the topic, because then you often get the best ideas. Where you're just letting go for a bit. Yeah.
Sometimes my roommate is in the same year as I am, and sometimes he comes to my room and just asks Sean, what do you think about this? And then I would just give an answer, and then that's a good idea. And then he continues with his work. So I can see that, like, it really helps, and I think it supports like these personal projects.
I think we should do it more often, not only with our personal projects, but maybe also at a work or something like that.
That's where I miss another designer at the company, I think, as well. So then if you're the only designer for me in Danone, I can ask someone else, but
then you get the scientist.
I get the
answer.
scientist or the engineer answer.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
if I need that answer, I will do it. But if I need another designer pair of eyes, then it's more difficult.
Do you then call Hio, or do you just
It's
cry in the corner?
confidential.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So officially no.
Yeah. You can trust me.
Yeah.
Sometimes
yeah,
we do.
yeah.
Okay, I have another question.
Should we make this the final question, maybe?
Yeah, I think it's a good final question too.
All right. Sean is good
Um,
at final questions.
Like, the reason why we started this podcast is because we were kind of lost in what we wanted to do with our studies, and our listeners probably have the same feeling that they don't know what to do as an industrial design engineer in their career.
Yeah.
So, what advice would you give to the? We discussed the follow your heart advice
Yeah,
of
yeah.
Francis.
Yeah.
You shouldn't
But-
laugh at the answer. It's a good answer.
It's a good answer. It is, for sure. But is there another advice that you would give to current students?
Well, I think that the first cliche to start with, I guess, is that I speak only for myself, but I guess everyone, so that's contradictory, but I think everyone at some point in their study thinks like, what the hell am I gonna do with this study? Like, what?
Yeah.
Because it's so broad, you can do whatever you like. And I think you even choose something that comes on your path or that you think is nice at that time, because you can always change. Because I'm now in packaging, but I'm more or less certain that when I would leave this job, I will probably not work in packaging, but I will go to a different field within design. And it's something that's always possible. It's not like you choose with your first job, this is the direction I go, but it's even good, I think, to switch every now and then, because you just take insights from one to the other. So yeah,
I think you also don't need to
It's
be
cliché,
afraid
but-
to be afraid that you don't have to that you don't find a job or something like that, because I think we are educated in a way that we have a set of skills and that we have a way of thinking that can also already add value to a company. But I think maybe one advice I can give is try to find something that you actually like, so that you are motivated to become better at it, and that's also nice to do also.
There was a good point you mentioned, because that's something in my graduation I stumbled upon as well, is that the mindset of designer is even more important than the output.
Yeah.
Like, you can apply it to everything. I think that's why a lot of designers become consultants as well,
Yeah.
because it can be even service design or whatever. If you the whole this is also why design thinking is a buzz term now in the industry.
Yeah.
It's just it's as simple as first thinking about the problem you want to solve, or even
Yeah.
first to empathize with your target group, like who are they and what is their problem,
Yeah.
and then try to solve it. Because those first two steps, 9 out of 10 times they are skipped,
Yeah.
and that's where the problem is, and that's where designers can play a big role, I think. So
Yeah.
it sounds simple, but that's something we get really well educated in, and that's a unique talent compared to a mechanical engineer, for example.
But
Because they can fix a boat, but you first need to tell them they want a boat.
Yeah.
Like,
Fair enough.
But if you look at our friends and our year, everyone has like a job now, right? And everyone is like indeed like has chosen a different way or
yeah,
path. Yeah.
no one has the same kind of job.
No.
So in
Definitely
conclusion, the follow your heart comment is a good idea.
Yeah, I
Still
think
stands.
Yeah, it still
best
stands.
advice ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Choose what you like. Don't worry too much, because you don't choose for the next 40 years of your life. You can just switch whenever you want.
Yeah,
And the mindset is what brings your added value.
yeah. No one has a clue what an industrial designer is if you walk into a company.
Yeah.
What?
So it's both our strength and our weakness at the same time, because
Yeah.
it's so broad that you can do anything, which makes it hard to define what do you do actually. Because if someone asks you on a birthday what do you do, it's a long story.
It's a long
Yeah.
story.
Which is not bad.
Yeah.
I think nobody expects from a student that you are like already an expert in your field when you're done with your study. You have you are given time to learn at
Yeah.
the company also. Yeah.
I think only some students themselves think they have to
Yeah.
be an expert, because they're like, yeah, I got my degree,
Yeah.
I'm going into the world,
Yeah.
and then you come into a company like, hey.
Yeah.
Now it
It's not
starts.
what I expected.
So the problem is mostly the student themselves, that they set the bar maybe too high for themselves.
Well, I don't know if that's a problem, setting the bar too high for yourself.
Well, maybe the biggest learning I got from, because I wanted to work at a big company, and I thought, well, that's where they know how they do it, and they know how it works. No, it's sometimes it's just similar to university.
Yeah,
You think
in the end,
there's not always a structure, and people don't always know what they're doing, but it's part of that's research and innovation. You know, that's how it works.
So in the end, that's what I always say. Ik doe maar wat. And,
just do something.
Yeah, and I think in the end everyone does that. Yeah.
Also, the
someone who claims that he definitely knows what he's
They
doing
pretend.
or she's doing. Yeah, think okay, are you or
No, most people are just good at pretending that they really know what they're doing.
Yeah, it's like that. Yeah,
All right,
I think that's a good to end up.
all of y'all pretenders.
Okay, and I want to close it off. Thank you for listening again to our podcast. If you have feedback, just let us know. Just write a comment or speak to us.
Yeah, talk to us and always send us an email, Icarus.podcast@gmail.com.
Okay.
Anything.
Then goodbye and see you next time.
Oh, wait, hold up. Hio, thank you. Robin, thank you very much for your time. Had a lot of fun.
welcome.
Yes.
And see you next time.
You. Yes. Yeah.
Hey. Choose one of these, Jens. Just pick one of them.